Welcome into this new edition of the Eric Avasar Show. And, St. John's traveled to take on the Syracuse Orange tonight at the Carrier Dome. As a Johnny's fan, I was bracing for the worst. I saw them get humiliated by Penn State at Madison Square Garden. So needless to say, I was shocked and delighted to see the Johnnies not only beat Syracuse, but thoroughly, comprehensively embarrass, humiliate, and destroy the Orange in a 93-60 win, again, on the road. The second highest margin of victory for St. John's over Syracuse in a long and storied rivalry, one often overlooked in college basketball, but really, this is a St. John's team that has struggled with figuring out how to play winning basketball. It's a cliche, finding their identity under Chris Mullin. There's no questioning the talent, but this talent finally came together in what could be a really fortune-changing, program-changing win for St. John's when you look at what it means to them. So, Shamori Pons, Chris Mullin's flagship recruit. Really, he's the guy who I think is the foundation for Mullin to build around moving forward. Played a terrific game, scored 19 points, 7 assists, and nailed 4 3-pointers as well, 6 rebounds. I mean, just an absolute stat sheet stuffer. 4 steals. Look, he could get some triple doubles for St. John's. What a night for him. Of course, another solid game from Malik Ellison, the only bright spot for St. John's against Penn State. He had 16 points, going 5 of 12 from the field, and had 5 assists and 6 rebounds. But the star of the night tonight had to be Bashir Ahmed. He's kind of struggled early on this season getting his act together, but the talent, like I said, is clearly there. He had 20 points, had some authoritative slams, had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. So another stat sheet stuffer. Ahmed could really combine to make a great backcourt alongside Shamori Pons and Marcus Lovett. Now, Lovett, he is still, I think, recovering from that ankle injury, only had 7 points, but, did well with the time he spent on the floor. I think he might be the most talented player on the team, probably the hottest shooter when he becomes explosive, but really have to give credit to Malik Ellison. I've been reading murmurs among St. John's fans about him transferring. I don't see how you can even remotely argue that at this point when you consider what he has meant to the team, especially as of late. So, and another thing, when you're looking at Syracuse, okay, the Orange, they kind of knew they were not going to be as good as they were used to under Jim Boeheim heading into the season. But after opening the season with 4 straight wins, they have really struggled. They have taken losses to South Carolina, of course, a ranked Wisconsin, and Georgetown as well, and they're not much to look at either. So, I fully expected Syracuse to come out and destroy St. John's. Of course, the exact opposite happened, but really only one player on Syracuse impressed me, and that, of course, was Tyler Lydon. He is a matchup nightmare. He did well tonight. He had 16 points, but really, the biggest problem for St. John's against Penn State was their biggest strength against Syracuse. Effort. They did not work hard enough against Penn State. They did not want it enough, and they humiliated Syracuse by outworking them. They had so many dunks in transition, so many fast break points. Syracuse turned the ball over 19 times, and a lot of that was due to really just stymieing defense. So major credit to St. John's. They're now 6-7 on the season. This could really save St. John's from suffering through what is already going to be a long Big East stretch. But is it going to be torturous? Who knows? But one thing that I think is not up for debate here is that the Big East Conference is still a basketball powerhouse. 7-2 this season against the ACC. Truly a remarkable record in non-conference play. So very much look forward to seeing how St. John's builds off of it. This was their last game before Big East play. So I thank you very much for tuning in, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel.